The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Yeah, and today we are diving into a really wild one.
Oh, absolutely. Today's deep dive is all about two superstars who, claim they desperately want privacy, yet somehow manage to bring a literal professional fashion photographer into the backseat of their highly publicized double date.
Right, it makes no sense on paper.
Exactly. We are talking about the massive headline story that Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi have sparked romance rumors once again. We're tracking exactly how this is playing out in real time, using everything from, the gritty boots-on-the-ground reporting at TMZ and Perez Hilton.
And the insider scoops at Entertainment Tonight and Geo News.
Yeah, all the way to the highbrow cultural analysis over at Cultura Collectiva. Our mission today is to really decode the mechanics of what we're actually witnessing here. Is this pairing a masterclass in PR? A highly orchestrated rollout just designed to dominate the algorithm.
Or is it a genuine movie-like modern romance? And perhaps most importantly, how is this specific relationship completely reshaping celebrity culture as we know it?
Which is a huge question to ask.
It really is a massive question, because this isn't just about two incredibly famous people deciding to, grab a coffee. It's about the architecture of modern fame. We're looking at a masterclass in how relationships are consumed by the public.
Right, the underlying mechanics of visibility right now.
Exactly. And the way this timeline has unfolded gives us a perfect window into the current playbook of Hollywood relevancy. But to really understand how we got here, we actually have to rewind to the very quiet, almost invisible origins of this pairing back in February.
The timeline is so fascinating to me because it didn't start with some flashy red carpet debut. It started with a heavily vetted, high-stakes matchmaking session. According to industry whispers, Kylie Jenner, Hailey Bieber, and Justin Bieber were all playing Cupid behind the scenes.
Yeah, the ultimate Hollywood board of directors.
Seriously. And you have to think about how matchmaking works at this stratosphere of fame. It's not like setting up your two friends at a local dive bar. These are people with NDAs, massive security details, and global brands to protect.
Definitely. Justin and Hailey are sort of the ultimate connective tissue in young Hollywood right now. They bridge the music industry and the fashion world. Combine that with Kylie's billionaire business acumen, and you have a social circle that is essentially acting as a corporate vetting agency for Kendall's love life.
It's wild when you put it like that.
It is, but that vetting process is crucial. When you exist in that bubble, the circle of people who actually understand the pressure you are under is vanishingly small. Early on, the reporting indicated that neither Kendall nor Jacob wanted anything serious.
Yeah. Right. They were both coming out of high-profile situations.
Exactly. Highly scrutinized situations.
Yeah.
But the tone of the insider leaks has drastically shifted since then. We are now seeing quotes in Entertainment Tonight suggesting that this casual spring fling has escalated dramatically. Kendall is reportedly telling her inner circle that she is, quote, in love.
Oh, wow. In love.
Yeah.
And the details leaking out of the ET camp are painting a picture that almost defies reality. The insiders claim that the last few months have felt like, something out of a movie. They describe Jacob as incredibly sweet, fiercely intelligent, and deeply aligned with her values.
Right, the perfect leading man.
Totally. He is apparently always carrying Kendall's bags. He's rushing to open doors for her, just making sure she feels completely insulated and taken care of at all times.
Which brings us to the visual evidence of this dynamic. The main event that really forced the public to take this seriously happened on July 24th. I want you to picture the geography of this.
Okay, set the scene.
You are at the Gorge Amphitheater in Washington State. It is a visually stunning, incredibly remote outdoor venue. The sun is setting, the vibe is pure, unadulterated Americana, and country superstar Chris Stapleton is on stage.
Sounds amazing.
Right. But this is not the neon-soaked VIP room of a Los Angeles nightclub. It requires significant effort to get there. And right there, in the side stage VIP section, just hiding in plain sight, are Kendall and Jacob.
It is the ultimate signaling of a low-key, rustic romance. Jacob is dressed down in a completely plain white t-shirt and a beat-up baseball cap. Kendall is holding a drink, and she's leaning in incredibly close to him, just chatting away while the music plays in the background.
Yeah, it feels almost shockingly intimate for two people who usually have a literal wall of security around them.
Exactly. And because nothing is ever truly private in 2026, a fan nearby captures a video and uploads it to TikTok. But the best part of that video isn't even the visual of the couple, it's the audio. You can literally hear this fan in the background screaming, "No effing way," at the top of their lungs.
I love that video. That visceral fan reaction perfectly encapsulates the cultural mood. It's the sheer disbelief of seeing two people from completely different stratospheres of the pop culture universe suddenly colliding.
The high fashion reality royalty and the gritty streaming era leading man.
Exactly. Colliding in this very grounded, everyday country music setting. But if we pull back and look at the bigger picture, the real metric of seriousness in the Kardashian-Jenner world isn't holding hands at a Chris Stapleton concert.
Right, it's never just about the concert.
The true currency of commitment is the family introductions. And the most critical piece of information that has surfaced is that Jacob Elordi has officially met Caitlyn Jenner.
Wait, really? That detail completely stopped me in my tracks when I read it.
I know, is a monumental shift in the narrative. You have to understand the family architecture to grasp why this matters. Meeting Kris Jenner is like standard operating procedure.
Oh yeah, Chris meets everyone.
Right. Kris is the matriarch. She is deeply social. She is the engine behind the family's business empire. If you were dating a Jenner, you meet Kris immediately because you were entering her orbit. But Caitlyn Jenner is a completely different story.
Totally different.
Post-transition, and particularly in recent years, Caitlyn has become notoriously reclusive. She deliberately stays out of the Hollywood fray and the reality television machine.
So for Kendall, who's already fiercely protective of her private life, to bring Jacob into that specific, highly guarded, untelevised inner circle that is highly unusual.
It really is. That signals a level of emotional investment and permanence that goes light years beyond a casual summer romance. It suggests he isn't just meeting the brand, he's meeting the actual person.
The Caitlyn introduction is undeniably a heavy piece of evidence for the genuine romance column, but I have to push back a little on the narrative we're being fed here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Does this movie-like description from the ET insiders feel a little too perfect to you? Like the bag carrying, the door opening, the perfectly casual white t-shirt at an Americana country concert? It feels almost like a flawlessly scripted scene for a Kardashian-Jenner rollout.
I can see why you'd say that.
Right. It's as if someone typed a prompt into an AI generator asking for the ultimate romantic fantasy for a supermodel who just wants to be a normal girl for a day.
It absolutely has a heavily curated aesthetic. The optics are almost too flawless. But that is the ultimate double-edged sword of being born into the Jenner family. The public knows exactly how adept this family is at storytelling and narrative control.
Which means even their most authentic, unscripted moments are going to be scrutinized for their production value.
Exactly. When your entire life has been monetized through a camera lens, the public loses the ability to differentiate between a genuine smile and a strategic one.
Well, if you think that concert was perfectly staged, but wait till you hear what happened when they piled into a car with another Hollywood power couple.
Oh boy, the infamous Los Angeles double date.
Yeah. I bought that low-key rustic romance narrative for a minute, but then I looked at the photos from May 16th. You cannot tell me these two just want a quiet, secluded life when they are literally piling into a car with Timothée Chalamet.
It is definitely a choice.
Let's break down the scene that essentially broke the internet and brought us right back to the chaotic tabloid era of the mid-2000s. It's a spring night in Los Angeles. Jacob Elordi is behind the wheel of a car. Kendall Jenner is riding shotgun.
And crammed into the back seat, looking like teenagers sneaking out after curfew, are Kylie Jenner, Timothee Chalamet, and crucially, a professional fashion photographer named Ronelle Medrano.
The sheer visual weight of that car is staggering. You are looking at hundreds of millions of followers, billions of dollars at the box office, and the absolute pinnacle of current pop culture relevancy, all trapped in a single vehicle.
And it is pure chaos. They're actively trying to hide from the swarm of paparazzi cameras flashing outside the windshield. They're ducking down, throwing their hands over their faces, turning away from the glass.
But the act of hiding only made the photos funnier and vastly more obvious. It's like being in a fishbowl on wheels, You can't escape.
Right. Geo News ran with these photos and perfectly dubbed the group the Gen Z Paparazzi Avengers.
I love that name.
It's so good. And immediately, the internet started comparing this night to those iconic 2006 paparazzi shots of Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton having the time of their lives in the front seat of a car.
The comparison to 2006 is incredibly revealing, but we have to look at the stark differences in the mechanics of those two eras. In 2006, Britney, Lindsay, and Paris were being actively hunted. They were victims of a highly predatory paparazzi culture.
Yeah, the flashbulbs were literally a weapon used against them.
Exactly. Fast forward to 2026, and the dynamic is completely flipped. Kendall, Kylie, Jacob, and Timothee aren't prey. They are apex predators of the media cycle. I'm bringing Ronelle Medrano, a highly respected editorial photographer, into the backseat with them. They are ensuring that even in the midst of a paparazzi swarm, they have their own lens capturing the night.
Which is such a brilliant analysis. It is a high fashion safety net.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at the breakdown from Cultura Collectiva, they highlight the cultural architecture of these two couples, and it blew my mind.
Oh, do tell.
They argue this isn't just a fun double date, it is a strategic alignment of Hollywood archetypes. On one side of the car, you have Kylie and Timothee. Timothée Chalamet represents prestige cinema. He's the face of the Dune franchise. He's the Oscar nominee. He is the intellectual film buff's absolute obsession.
He brings a gravitas and a classic Hollywood pedigree to the equation.
Exactly. And on the other side of the car, you have Kendall and Jacob. Jacob Elordi is the undisputed king of the streaming generation. He cut his teeth on Euphoria. He dominated the cultural conversation with Saltburn. He represents this visceral, dangerous, internet-breaking era of modern stardom.
So when you put these four people in one car, they are effectively covering the entire geographic map of Hollywood relevance. Between prestige cinema and streaming dominance, they own the cultural conversation.
Yeah, it's not just a date. It's like a corporate merger of fan bases. It's royal families intermarrying to secure alliances across different territories.
That is a phenomenal way to frame it. The combined demographic reach is unparalleled. And this double date was not an isolated incident, right? It was the crescendo of a very deliberate, perfectly paced escalation.
Right. If you trace the breadcrumbs, they were first spotted having an intense conversation at the Vanity Fair Oscar party back in March.
And in the ecosystem of Hollywood, chatting openly at the Vanity Fair party is practically a sworn declaration of intent.
Seriously. Then we get the Coachella kiss at Justin Bieber's party in April, and then boom, the Avengers assemble in May.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists and the psychology behind them, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead. Because later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yep, why some fans are absolutely convinced this entire globe-trotting romance is a carefully orchestrated illusion.
Which brings us to the great debate of the summer and the core of our mission today. Are Kendall and Jacob victims of an obsessive, relentless media apparatus, or are they the brilliant architects of it?
Right, because after intentionally blowing up the internet in Los Angeles, you'd think they would want to permanently escape the cameras, and they did, or at least they pretended to.
Yeah, they immediately fled to some of the most exclusive, secluded spots on Earth.
Exactly. We track a quiet, highly aesthetic dinner in Montecito, California, right near Kendall's enclave. Then they jet off to Kauai, Hawaii. TMZ reports them grabbing breakfast at Nourish Hanalei and staying at the ultra-exclusive North Shore Preserve.
Not exactly easy places to stumble upon.
Not at all. From there, they are spotted wandering the neon-lit streets of Tokyo. And finally, they retreat to Kendall's remote vacation home in Idaho.
It is a massive global footprint. But notice the pattern in these locations. They're all spaces that imply intense leisure, total isolation, and high-end romance.
But there is a glaring mechanical problem here.
Oh, completely. How do photos continuously leak from places like the North Shore Preserve in Kauai? That is a heavily guarded, ultra-exclusive enclave where random tourists aren't just wandering around with iPhones.
Right. For a photo to get out of a place like that, it requires a coordinated effort. Either a paparazzi agency has to be tipped off to their exact coordinates, or a drone is used.
Which implies a level of tolerance from their security team. Or the photos are being quietly leaked by their own camp.
And that exact mechanical problem is what has caused a massive fracture in the public response. If you read the room on X, the fan base is completely divided into two warring camps right now.
Totally. You have one side that is celebrating this globe-trotting summer as the glorious return of old-school, candid paparazzi moments. They are exhausted by the highly sanitized, perfectly filtered, face-tuned Instagram era.
Yeah, they crave the grit of a telephoto lens shot taken from across the street. To them, these grainy, unpolished glimpses of young Hollywood and love feel incredibly nostalgic and profoundly real.
The irony, of course, is that a grainy telephoto shot can be just as staged as a studio portrait. but it exploits the viewer's assumption of candor.
Which is exactly what the second camp of fans is arguing. They are looking at this exact same set of vacation photos and dubbing Kendall and Jacob the ultimate PR couple of the decade.
I've seen those threads. Their argument is that these two have figured out how to generate massive, nonstop global buzz without ever having to sit down for a single traditional interview or walk a red carpet together.
Exactly. They are keeping public interest at a fever pitch in true textbook Kardashian-Jenner style, all while pretending they hate the attention.
This tension between the public and the private brings us to a fascinating quote from Kendall herself. Just recently on the In Your Dreams podcast, she opened up about her current mindset.
Oh yeah, I listened to that. You have to remember her history. She previously navigated these very high-profile, highly scrutinized relationships with Bad Bunny and Devin Booker.
Right. And on the podcast, she stated that she had made a firm commitment to take a year to choose herself. She explicitly said that she wants to keep her private bonds, her close friends, her romantic relationships completely sacred.
The word sacred implies something untouchable, something protected from the outside world.
Precisely. And when you contrast that stated desire for profound sacred privacy with their highly visible globe-trotting actions, you hit a massive contradiction.
You really do.
And to add another layer of complexity, Perez Hilton reported a deeply hilarious irony regarding the family's internal dynamics. According to their sources, Kris Jenner is allegedly meddling in Kendall's relationship.
Hawker.
Right. But she is not meddling to exploit it for television. Kris is reportedly fighting tooth and nail to keep the romance private.
Let me stop you right there, because I'm genuinely struggling with the logic here. Kris Jenner, the woman who literally built a billion-dollar empire on the concept of overexposure and monetizing every waking moment of her family's life, is the one telling them to keep it offline.
It sounds absurd, I know, but it tells you that the media strategy has fundamentally shifted. Both Jacob and Kendall deeply understand the machinery of fame. Jacob successfully navigated an absolute tabloid frenzy when he dated Olivia Jade.
Oh yeah, he knows how the paparazzi ecosystem works.
They both do. If Kris is telling them to pull back, it might be because she recognizes that the current market values mystery over access.
Okay, but if you are Kendall Jenner and your mom is telling you to keep it private and you yourself are telling podcast hosts that you want your relationships to stay sacred, why are you sitting side stage in VIP at a massive outdoor country concert?
Fair point.
Why are you going on a double date with Timothée Chalamet, currently one of the most recognizable faces on the planet, and bringing your own professional photographer into the backseat of the car?
Right. It doesn't add up to privacy.
Is hiding in plain sight the new way to protect your peace? Or is it just the new, highly sophisticated way to guarantee you're on the front page of every tabloid?
That right there is the defining question of modern celebrity. I would argue that bringing the photographer into the car is the ultimate act of control. If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the paparazzi are going to hunt you down, you don't run.
You bring your own lens.
Exactly. You curate the chaos. By purposefully putting themselves in these semi-public, highly aesthetic situations, the concert, the Montecito dinner, the Tokyo streets, they're feeding the media beast just enough high-quality content to keep it from tearing down their front door.
So it is a highly managed spectacle.
Completely. They aren't hiding from the cameras, they are directing them.
So it's not a PR stunt in the sense that the relationship itself is fake. They very well might be in love. It's a PR stunt in the sense that they are actively producing the reality show of their own lives in real time.
Spot on. They don't need a camera crew because they're using the paparazzi as their unpaid cinematographers.
That is wild to think about. They're reclaiming the narrative by providing the imagery on their own terms. It feels candid, it feels accidental, but it is deeply considered and incredibly strategic.
Yep. So what does this all mean for the rest of us watching this unfold on our phones? It leaves us with a pretty wild final thought to chew on.
Right. If Kendall and Jacob truly are the blueprint for the modern celebrity romance, are we witnessing the absolute death of the Instagram soft launch era?
It really looks like it. For years, stars controlled the narrative by posting cryptic shadow photos or tagging an elbow in a perfectly filtered grid post.
But maybe we are done with that. Maybe the new flex isn't a grid post at all. Instead, are we seeing a return to the golden age Hollywood spectacle, the blinding flashbulbs, the chaotic cars, the globe-trotting glamour, except this time the entire movie is being orchestrated, cast, and directed by the stars themselves?
It is a fascinating paradigm shift. They have realized they don't need a publicist to write a stuffy press release to announce they were dating. They just need a white t-shirt, a VIP pass, and a designated driver.
It really makes you wonder who is actually pulling the strings in Hollywood these days. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.